This lesson will walk you through personal narrative, in this case, this I believe, and writing a conclusion. You all know that a conclusion wraps up a story or whatever it is that you're reading or even watching if it's a show or a movie, even a song. They tend to have conclusions too. An introduction and conclusion that connect the beginning and end are desirable in any piece of writing. Connecting the beginning and the end, those are desirable. So I'm going to invite you now to pause and read on the screen or in the document separately from the video. Read these paragraphs here and see that you have a beginning and an ending that are connected. I'm going to click on a link that I have inside this document that goes to some slides, simple slides here on what's called full circle endings. Full circle endings are also used in public speaking classes. So it's possible that at some point at ODU in your training, you will take some public speaking classes and learn something similar to what you have here. Full circle endings are effective. Sometimes writers need a special ending, one that wraps up whatever it is they're writing about. And a trick to do this is to repeat a phrase from the beginning of the piece of writing again at the end. So I have this sort of recycle emblem because I think it captures what you're doing. You're recycling a little something. I'm going to invite you to pause and look at the example here in the video now. You have the beginning and the end from a piece of writing, and you see the underlined parts are connected. Those underlined parts make the full circle. So pause and take a look. In this slide, you see the full circle happen inside of one paragraph. You can see direct repetition from the first line to the last line. Pause and take a look. This one's a little bit longer, but I think effective again for showing how you can take something from the beginning of a piece of writing and connect it down through the end. Shorter than what would happen in this I believe essay, but similar in the idea. Pause, check it out. That's just a quick overview of full circle endings. I'm going to head back into the personal narrative slide where I had those embedded. Personal narrative conclusions document where I had those slides embedded, and step you through the list in here. Strategies to make a conclusion have a punch. There's some tricks to writing that can help you make a good conclusion, such as number one, use a parallel structure in the lesson learned. So you could actually do like a lesson learned type of ending. Here's where the parallel structure has. It's in the structure of the sentence itself. A box that can be closed, a bow that can be tied, or a phone that can be answered. Has a nice sound to it. Another thing you could do is use a metaphor. We've had some lessons in metaphor in this class. Evil is a dying child in the arms of its mother. Wow, that's powerful, right? Not the easiest thing to write, but if you've got some serious creative bones in your body, go for number two. If you don't, try some of the other options here and they'll help you out. Number three is to end with dialogue that connects the dialogue from the beginning to the end. It could also be a quotation if you pull from some lessons that you've had in your journals. Number four, you could answer a question posed at the beginning, and side note on this, that question might even be your title or in your title. As you see in the example here, you have the beginning question and then the end. And then number five, a popular trick here, project time forward to end. This pattern is really effective with repetition. 3 years ago, I this, and then at the end, 3 years later, I that. You've actually seen this in action in some of the sample essays, if you've taken a look at those. This particular move can even be paired with sentence repetition and sentence structure patterns. 3 years ago, I this, 3 years ago, I this, 3 years ago, I that. And now I, whatever it is. So if that kind of thing works, try it out. It's a fun way to work with the kind of writing that you're doing in this essay. Whatever you do, have an ending that takes your paper to a better level, and have an ending that's not just repetition like what you've always probably been taught to do. Well, not always. You probably had, some of you had some instruction like this before. But the idea is you're going to do something, I think, for a lot of you that's going to be new and better, and not just a repetition at the end of the same old, but something to give your writing some flair and interest.